If you'd like to support my channel, consider becoming a patron. $2 gets you access to my videos earlier than YouTube, $5 will get you access to polls that determine my next review or let's play, and $10 gets you direct input into what content I cover. It also gets you extra entries into giveaways, and you'll get to see your name mentioned at the end of every video. If that doesn't do it for you, I have shirts and merchandise on Spreadshirt.com that you can also buy. As always, links will be in the description and the end slate. Hello lords and ladies, welcome back to Scooby Month on Cartoon Hangout, your place for all things cartoon. The final game I'll be covering for Scooby Month is Scooby-Doo Night of 100 Frights, a PS2 game developed by Heavy Iron Studios and published by the now defunct THQ. In it, you get to control Scooby-Doo as you headbutt, butt smash, and platform your way through a multitude of levels based on, or at least slightly influenced by, classic Scooby-Doo episodes, complete with a host of familiar Scooby-Doo foes. After the gang go missing upon arriving at Mystic Manor at the request of Daphne's friend Holly, Scooby-Doo must explore the various locales, solving puzzles, avoiding foes, and collecting all the Scooby snacks. In this game, these are extremely important, so don't let how many of them there are fool you. If you so much as miss a single box or snack, you could be backtracking through early levels when you need them to unlock snack cakes. So, get it into your head right now so you don't screw up like I did and spend 2 actual in-game hours tracking them down. Collect as many as you can. You also can collect monster tokens, which I believe unlock the monsters in the monster gallery so you can view their info. Throughout the game, you can also gain additional power-ups. Yes, Scooby-Doo does get power-ups. At first, you can't do much in the game, and you must avoid the monsters by either running away or jumping over them. However, eventually you will unlock a helmet that lets you headbutt enemies, activate switches, etc. Then there are springs that let you double jump, an umbrella to help you glide or levitate on top of fans, gum to temporarily stick enemies in their tracks, and finally, a soap bubble dispenser. This will let you jump on enemies to reach higher levels. There are also some abilities that let you sneak past foes, such as a lampshade or a suit of armor, but unfortunately, there aren't a lot of spots in the game that make use of this skill, so I never really used it that much. Now, as silly as some of these power-ups are, they're called inventions by their wacky creator, they are a godsend compared to what you have to work with in previous Scooby-Doo games, where you're essentially helpless to fight back. They give you multiple ways to tackle foes, some of which require a certain method or two to defeat them, like the Charlie robots in the later levels. To defeat them, you must first ram into them, then stomp on them. Otherwise, they'll take lives away from you, which is called courage in this game, and is gained by eating food you find. There are a lot of monsters in this game, and at first I thought it was padding. You know how classic Creep Capers had to fidget with the episode's plot to make it a full game's length? That's what I assumed was happening here. Several monsters from Scooby-Doo would appear in droves in Night of 100 Frights. You'd run into dozens of creepers, werewolves, zombies, and more. But by the end of the game, it is revealed why this is. I won't spoil that for you, but it actually makes sense, and it made me okay with the way they did it. And it's really cool to see which monsters made it into the game and what levels they're at. Oh, and Don Knotts is in the game. So cool. Now, graphics-wise, the game has not aged all too well, even for a cartoony-styled game. The characters' face movements are really funny to watch sometimes, but even then, it is still cool to see classic moments taken from the show and implanted into the game, even if most of those are kind of the opening to the game, not in the game themselves. Another neat element is the chase music. Yeah, during every boss fight, there's a unique song that plays. It really gets you pumped up to beat the boss when it starts playing, though as the bosses become harder, you probably won't even pay much attention to it. As for bosses, you'll get to face the Black Knight, the Green Ghost, and the Ghost of Redbeard. It actually does take some amount of strategy to defeat them, though it'll mostly involve either ramming a switch, bashing a switch while working with Daphne, or using the foe's attacks against them. Trust me though, all 3 of them will have you foaming at the mouth. Now that I've explained the mechanics of the game, let's start getting into my opinion on it, which is, I kinda hate it. Don't get me wrong, the game starts off really well. It's not too difficult, there's some challenge, but at some point into the game, maybe the final third, it just ramps up in difficulty. I'm not even kidding, it's insanely hard. The biggest problem with the game is the platforming. The developers expect you to make these terribly precise jumps, and you just can't do that in freaking 3D space. Especially not in an old title such as this. More than a few times, I misjudged how close or far a platform was to me and fell to my death. Look at this chandelier. How close do you think that is? Oops, fell to my death. That's what I'm talking about. Early on, this doesn't really matter, and it's easy enough to recover, but by the final leg of the game, they want you to make even more precise jumps. Whether from rotating boards, moving lamps, or sails. It's idiotic and very easily taints my fun experience in the first 2/3 of the game. Another issue that I had is how Scooby moves. Some enemies, you need to ram them and bounce on them, or vice versa. But Scooby doesn't just automatically turn to face where you need him to after you've, say, bounced on an enemy's head. No, he actually rotates, which takes up very precious time you need to land, face the enemy again, and ram them. This is no more apparent than with the final boss, Mastermind. After dealing with wave after wave of enemies, some of the hardest ones in the game since you have to either bounce on them first, or vice versa, you need to butt smash him, then try to ram him into electricity. Which is near impossible considering there are 2 Charlie robots with him. So even if you happen to smash him, they will more than likely damage you as you attempt to freaking turn Scooby around in time to ram Mastermind, who will at this point already be standing up and will probably also damage you. So you need to take the foes out first, but he'll just summon more. So you have to somehow smash him and ram him several times while avoiding those freaking robots. Good freaking luck. Look, the game's not all bad. Maybe I'm just really bad at it. Though the game's level, design, and difficulty can't be completely excused here. It did not have to ramp up this drastically, and the boss battles could have been tweaked, along with the general movement of Scoob. However, another nice thing I have to say is that it really does recreate a typical Scooby-Doo episode. Sure, there's a lot more to it since you're in a video game, but that's just freaking cool to play through. You have all these really unique environments to run around in, such as the mansion itself, a fishing village, factories, caves, graveyards, etc. And collecting the snacks can feel really rewarding, especially if you get the monster tokens too. Like I said, I had a lot of fun with this game before it became idiotically hard. Though another complaint that I have is that, unlike the previous game I covered for Scooby Month, there's little if any clue collecting. Scooby-Doo merely moves from one area to the next, sometimes encountering some of the gang who reflect briefly on what's going on before either being kidnapped or disappearing again. So I wish that had been more of an element in the game. It gets even more annoying when the gang explained the motivation of Mastermind in the end, and they actually recount clues you didn't see in the game yourself. Like, really? Come on, why couldn't I have had a hand in figuring out who it was? Not that it was particularly hard to see who it was a mile away, but still. Now that I mention that, there's a simple twist at the end regarding the bad guy's identity. While it's nothing groundbreaking or revolutionary, I did appreciate that it wasn't as cut and dry as it almost appeared to be. In conclusion, I've come to the same opinion on this game as other reviewers did back when it first came out. It's a fun, but very flawed game that delivers on certain aspects of what Scooby-Doo fans wanted in a game, but doesn't fully reach that lofty goal thanks to some janky controls, camera angles, and a harsh difficulty spike that had me literally wanting to kill myself. In the end, I think I would still recommend you play this, just do it on an emulator so that you have save states. it won't be nearly as frustrating then. And that's all from me. Did you play this game as a kid? How did you like it? Did you ever beat it? Let me know down below, and I'll see you soon for the conclusion of Scooby Month 2018. Thanks for watching, and take care.